the newfound Zoom feature that announces automatically, just so you know. Well,
I love those auto computer. Yeah. Well, good evening. Yes. I'm sorry, Kyle. Go ahead. Then I'll give you a sec.
Well, I'm going to go completely off subject. We just upgraded and got one of those little RoboVacs. It's pretty amazing.
Vacuum tube?
Yeah, I don't know how some animals in the house would react to that. How does the dog like it?
He's not too pleased right now, but boy, it sure is freeing up a lot of time for me.
Well, that's right. You're free from all that household drudgery now, Kyle, and you can devote more time to the radio bench. That's right.
I don't have to wear that little lacy maid outfit.
Sounds like one of those 50s films you would see, the modern electric household, all those wonders in the kitchen. Anyway, so it is September 16th. It is Thursday evening. Here we are for yet again another Zoom. And Greg Van Beek is joining us tonight. Greg, you are up in West Bend, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Right up in Wisconsin, just north of Milwaukee.
All the way from West Bend. So home of the stand-up aluminum coffee pot that we've all seen at those church suppers with the delicious coffee that would take the finish off my teeth, at least. Anyway, I just have one little note here before Greg takes it away tonight. I thought I would share this with the group. So we have, my Needham hometown weekly newspaper came, and generally I do look at the lost pet column, and they have a little column in there. People post junk they're trying to get rid of. So, of course, I'm looking for the R for radios. But there was a little piece in here, and I just thought for those who know, it's just, common knowledge. But for those who don't know, maybe somebody would want to look into this a little bit more. So, History Center readies Hedy Lamarr program. So apparently one of the local history centers here in town is having a program presentation, tickets, blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera. The Tinseltown inventor, the most beautiful woman in the world, Hedy Lamarr, features HAP LLC founder and artistic director, blah, blah, blah. She lived clouded in a fantasy world that only Tinseltown could create. Audiences experience immersive living history of Hedy Lamarr, experience and watch a young Austrian refugee transform to the most beautiful woman in the world while inventing technology that would forever change society. A skilled electrical engineer went off the Hollywood lot. She patented in 1942 a spread spectrum communication system that allowed radios to hop between frequencies, thereby avoiding jamming and detection. Her invention was the basis for what would later become more modern wireless communications. Well, I'm not quite certain who the author is, but probably could have given us a better explanation. But, Hedy Lamarr recently passed, and I certainly remembered her from the movies. And all the movies I saw, I never had any idea she was an electrical engineer. So somebody should write a book. Sounds like something for something for our friend there, the code woman who smashed codes author. Maybe we can get Jason to pick up the trail and write something about Hedy Lamarr. But interesting, you don't often find many Hollywood celebrities who are electrical engineers. So in any event, so that's my tidbit for the night. And Mr. Van Beek is waiting and ready to take us away, I think.
Well, actually, just before he does, I have a couple of quick announcements.
Yes, sir.
Announcement number one will be, of course, 1 week away to fall Brookline.
Brookline.
So we should all be getting excited, getting our rubbing up our hands, ready to buy, or sell, whatever it takes, however it takes, as long as you get there. So looking forward.
Henry, are you coming up? Is Henry coming up to the Brookline show? I have a question. Will you be bringing some transistors? Very good.
I might be. I'm hopefully going to be selling, but mostly buying.
We'll have to look for your table.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Excellent.
I'll have my camera in hand. And the next announcement is that the next Zoom meeting will be 3 weeks from now, not 2, just because to keep to the 2 meetings per month cadence. So we'll be, I believe, October 6th, if I recall. So that's just a little FYI. But at any rate, now we can really have Greg take it away.
Take it away, Greg.
Well, these are about roughly half of the radios I have in my collection, and I was inspired by some of the other tours I've seen. You've got some members that have some fantastic collections, and I really enjoyed seeing them. And what I have down here is about 50, 54 radios. They've all been restored cosmetically and electronically, so they're just kind of on display here. And I'm going to take my little tablet and go around and just kind of focus in on each one. If anybody has any comments or questions as I'm going, just jump right in and
All
do
right.
my best to answer.
Very
Just
good.
turn the camera around here. Pardon my big finger. There we go. So let's start over here. As Paul knows, I am a Bing Crosby collector. And that big sign there goes from 1953 when he published his autobiography. I think it
All
came from a
right.
drugstore.
That is cool.
Got a couple of old picture records hanging up here.
Oh, yeah.
Very nice.
Love it.
Over here. I'm trying to get the focus in here. There we go. That's a little RCA. Little 5 tuber from 1939.
Beautiful.
This one is kind of out of order. This is the famous Hippo, Filco Hippo they made from 1946 to 49. This is the 46. Right next to it, this is the 1950 model. That's what the Hippo became. Became the
I love that
Sunburst, the
dial. That's a
sundial.
beautiful
Yeah,
dial. Yeah, those are sharp.
yeah.
That is gorgeous.
That's what the Hippo morphed into. And I've got a little airline over here, a 39 with the, and I've got a slot machine dial on it. Cylindrical dial that rotates.
Oh, I love it.
Tuning eye, very nice.
Love it. That is great.
And this is a Filco portable from 1949. These came in different colors. I think they came in green and white. And down below it, I have the original ad for it.
Ah, with Bing.
Other than Bing.
And only $29.99. All right, 95.
$29.99.
Very nice.
Okay, then we'll move over to here. Past my storage area and all the tubes and things I have for the restoration. It's kind of a mess, but
Nice. Phil. lots of goodies.
yeah, I got a 39 Emerson. This is called a Big Strad. It's got an Ingram cabinet.
Beautiful.
This is a 41 Zenith 6 tube model 6S 532.
Nice work.
Oh, yeah.
And this is the
The
one I
escutcheon
showed you
is
the-
really pretty on that.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that is
It
really
is.
nice
Good
dial.
shape.
Especially
Yeah.
for such a tabletop, it really stands out.
And they use the same front, the same escutcheon, and the same chassis in the console too. So it's nice to have a little table model with the speaker on the side.
Do you recall, Greg, what that Zenith?
I'm going to say it's about a 5
Yeah,
or 6 inch.
I bet that sounds pretty
Yeah,
good too.
Oh, yeah, it sounds pretty good. This is the one I showed the other week, the Zenith Portable.
Oh, yeah.
The other zoom.
What are the
great.
2 holes on the right side?
Yeah,
Looks
those
like-
holes on the right side, they're for they're for the setting the IF frequencies, I guess. All right, moving over here.
Greg, on,
Yeah.
on that, on the front of that, what are the 2 holes on the right side?
Oh, these here, I'm sorry. I thought you meant the ones on the top we had talked about were for,
No.
those are for a headphone jack. I guess they had
that's
some kind of
original?
headphones. That's original, yeah. I have no
Oh.
idea what the headphones look like, but
Okay, thank
they
you.
had some.
And that thing's pretty
special
funky
headphones.
anyway. I mean, it looks, so much more like
Yeah,
a
it's a-
table set, if you
Well,
take
it's
the
real
handle
deep,
off.
too. Yeah.
And
could be-
obviously they did the bottom for the battery, so.
So
Yeah.
you could be just walking down the street with your headphones jacked in and having a great
Yeah.
time.
That's
Yeah.
right.
They had a Walkman back in 1941 already.
That's about
And I've got an old Kellogg phone here. It's like 1909, I think. But
Oh, that's beautiful. That's cool.
go up on the top shelf. I don't have a lot of radios from the 20s, but got a couple Atwater Kents. I've got some advertising for radio programs. This
great.
is a model 20 here from 1925.
In the radio room.
Yeah. It's an RCA horn speaker. This is a model 35 from 1926. They went down to 2 dials then finally. Got an RCA speaker on top. And going over here, we've got a 1928, the first AC Atwater Kent Model 40. Those are very common. They sold a ton of those. And I've got a 1935 Filco Model 89, the one that's known as a radio that refuses to be fixed because generally every coil on these things are open when you find them. This one was no exception. Had the antenna, the RF, and the oscillator coil all had to be rewound.
The trifecta.
Trifecta. Right. This is kind of unique. It's a 1932 Belmont. It's a model 60. And that's a very early Belmont. Most of us are familiar with Belmonts from the late 40s. And
the
50s.
rabbits. Yep. Look at that
Obviously,
detail on the escutcheon up at the top. That's very nice.
Yeah, it's just very,
very cool.
And the cabinet design, the cabinet design is kind of based on the Filco design down here. I'll focus in on that. The Combs design, very similar with the arches, just that the lattice work is a little bit different.
Yeah.
Well, as the designers like to say, that it was inspired, not that we ripped it off, but
inspired,
right.
Inspired by.
Of course, then this is the Model 20 Baby Grand from 1930, which is in the running for being the first cathedral radio, I think. The first popular cathedral radio, I should say.
Wow,
Skipped one over here. I've got an airline movie dial here. This is 1937.
That's cool. See the dial?
Yeah.
You turn on the light behind it and the numbers show up.
Oh, that's neat. I like it. I like the style.
Yeah, they were, I mean, don't discredit the department store radios. They had some really nifty features that the big guys didn't have, like Zenith and RCA and Filco.
Greg, do you have an idea who made that? Was that a Wells Gardner product?
Wells Gardner, yep, because of
Very good.
they had a chrome chassis in even.
Yeah, they had some pretty fancy schmancy stuff.
This year, okay. This is a 35 Grunau, model 640. Some people pronounce it Grunau.
What Chris gave me.
I like that. It's nice, handsome.
Airplane dial.
Oh yeah, it's got a beautiful dial.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Have that dial?
Yeah, but well, it's not that. I mean, she's done a full restoration there, and there's no way I'll ever get the chassis back to that.
This is a 37 Filco model 610. This has the full finish on the front. Filco used those decals to recreate a wood grain finish, and it's actually like a decal. And this one was in remarkably good shape, which is surprising because most of these are badly chipped, but this one survived pretty good.
Yeah, especially it's original in that regard. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. This is kind of a unique console. This is a 1934 Stromberg Carlson. And it's a 10-tube set with 2 chassis. It's kind of unique because they have the RF section just has 3 tubes on the top chassis, and the IF cans and the audio output section are down on the bottom. It's actually got 3 42 tubes, and it's got 2 42 push-pull audio and a 42 driver ahead of it. So it's got some
interesting.
Got some power.
Hey, Greg, what's that window right above the dial face?
That is sort of a shadow meter type of thing. It's a selectivity range. There it is.
Oh, I see. Okay. It's poor man's tuning eye.
Exactly. Yeah. It's instead of just a shadow, they use a needle, and it still works.
Oh, that's cool.
I always like the Strombergs with their hexagon dials.
Yeah, they stand out. You know, I don't know how much of a poor man set any Stromberg Carlson was.
No,
so.
that's I sort of say that with a little tongue in cheek there but it's usually so used to seeing a tuning eye. It's funny to see a tuning meter.
And that is actually the original finish on that cabinet.
Wow,
that's gorgeous.
That's terrific.
It's almost 100 years old. Look at the finish.
Yeah.
Well, the funny thing is, the tuning eye was replaced by tuning meters, in the solid state stuff.
Right.
Funny how that went.
And this is actually, I think I might have shown this one before, but this is actually what got me interested in antique radios. This was a 1940 Coronado. It was purchased new by my great-grandparents at the Gamble store on Main Street in Hartford, Wisconsin that year.
Very nice.
It sat in their front room from 1940 until I got it in 1980.
It's gorgeous.
So they had it for 40 years, and now I've had it for 40 years.
All right.
I bet you it's original.
That's all original finish too, yeah.
Wow, love the dial.
It's got a lot of different bands on it. Never
Yeah.
tried DXing on this, but I think it'd probably be a good set for that.
Pop agrees.
Yeah, I believe it had a question.
Oh, sure.
No, I'm sorry. I was joking. I was talking about the dog. I apologize.
Okay.
Here we
Sorry,
Then
go.
I got
Greg.
a Silvertone. That's a big gold dial Silvertone model.
Ooh, that is nice. Another
Those
two-
are getting more and more expensive. When despite, a lot of radios, people say, yes, the prices are coming down, and in many cases they are, but for some reason those seem to, especially you see them on eBay, people just want astounding amounts of money. I think they probably base them off, previous year's sales, but
Right.
they
Well, and
just
it's-
don't pop up as much as they used to. And I'm sure Sears made a ton of them, but you don't see them.
Well, it's a big set too. It's deceptive. And when you see it here, but it's actually a pretty sizable table model. Takes up a lot of real estate.
What do you think that is? About 22, 24 inches across?
Maybe a little bit less than that. It might be about
Yeah.
20 across, but
I like the way the cabinet's kind of tapered though. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Very
yeah, on
effect.
the
attractive.
sides it's tapered. Yeah.
Very nice.
My tube testers up here and some old vintage radio magazines.
Oh, I like it.
Why Dick Powell left the? Why did Dick Powell leave the air? I'd love to
That's
know
a good
that.
question.
I've
Inquiring
been
minds
listening to all
need
these
to know.
Richard Diamonds.
Yeah. Got a
You'll have to
little
read it and tell me.
Martin Field sign there. That's from 1947 for Texaco. Here's the old Maestro, Ben Burney. That's from 1932, I think, 33.
Pabst Blue Ribbon
Pabst
Beer
Blue
and Ale.
Ribbon.
All right.
Milwaukee's pride. There's a 1937 Filco little 4-tube model 3784. Another one that has the photo finish on the front that's
Oh, yeah.
still in remarkable condition.
It's a neat radio. The dial face is unusual too.
Yeah. This is a 39 Filco. It's a 39-70. It's a battery set.
Yeah, I was going to say that looks like the farm model. They made a couple of things along that style. They have a,
Yeah.
I have a 38 with a similar cabinet, but
Mhm.
they're not bad sounding sets. I think my
No, they had a
dial,
power
I
supply
had to do a
for it.
replacement.
What I excuse me, what I liked about it has a chevron grill cloth.
Yeah, that is
Really-
attractive.
Yeah, that is sharp. I like the way it sets itself off behind the grill work. That's cool.
Right.
Yeah.
And I nailed it right in the dead center of the lattice.
Nicely
would
done.
be-
Nicely done.
For a farm set, that's pretty attractive, I thought.
Pretty high-end farm set.
Right. This is a 1930 Echo phone. And from what I've heard, it was a toss-up between this one and the Filco Model 20 as to which was the first true cathedral radio.
Hmm.
Now, I'm sure that there are others who might find a different one, but I don't think there were too many cathedrals prior to 1930. Kind of unique, and it has a slide kind of dial on it.
Yeah, I was gonna. Is that the
Mhm.
tuning? Yeah. So you thumb the wheel to.
Thumb the wheel, yeah, and
Yep,
there's just a
beauty.
volume off on below.
Interesting.
Pretty simple. And
There are some who would say that
Good
might be
picture.
a better way to fine tune a set than trying to go, side to side.
Mm-hmm. Little 51 Arvin, it's a metal cabinet. That's actually the same chassis that was used in the Hopalong Cassidy radio.
Ah,
These are fairly common. They came in a bunch of different colors, and so if you ever find a Hopalong Cassidy cabinet, you can probably pick up one of these fairly cheap and have a complete radio. This is a 1935 Westinghouse.
Gorgeous. Very
Used an
stately.
Emerson chassis. Yeah, that's another one with the original finish, original grill cloth.
wow. Look at that. That's quite a nice looking grill cloth too. On the pattern.
And the inlay pinstripes are very nice too on there.
Yeah. Very
Little
nice.
hexagon shaped knobs. Here's another 4-tube Filco, 1934 model 84B.
Hmm.
This is one of those that they reproduced in the 80s, I think. You sometimes
Yes,
see these in
yes.
reproduction with the cassette player on the side. This is the original one.
Oh, yes. Right.
And then next to it, I've got a sled, 1941 Filco. They call these the sled because of the shape of the cabinet.
I like it. All right. It
The
looks like,
grill's in great shape. Is that an original?
That's an original 10.
That's remarkable. That never happens.
Wow.
No, I got lucky on that one.
Wow, that's gorgeous.
We've got a 1940 Silvertone.
That's a nice looking set. I like
That
that.
sure is.
Very
Mm.
40s.
Got the
Oh,
eye tube. and
tuning eye, love that. Oh,
Yeah.
I like the lettering on the Silvertone. That's a pretty
Oh, yeah.
nice job.
that is perfect.
One's a little 36 Crosley. Little 516. Yeah, the Crosley's all had nice little dials on them.
Yeah, it is. Ah, I love the center section there. The world.
The blonde Knox radio tower dissecting them. Very pretty.
Do what? Take it.
And we've got this is a 41 Zenith. And what's unique about it is
Oh, Nikki.
it has a blue anodized dial face. It's
Interesting.
actually a piece of aluminum and it's anodized blue. Normally Zeniths had the black dials, but this one,
Tain't never seen one of them.
Wow, that is. Oh, you have a remarkable collection, Greg.
thank you. This is a little Filco Transitone from 1953.
Oh yeah, what an attractive radio.
Very nice dial on those.
Those chassis are not bad for little 5-tube sets. I was really enjoying. I had a similar one, different case, and heard a nice pop when one of the capacitors, I thought you could kind of get around having to replace.
Oh, yeah,
Just
I'll sneak up on you.
reinforced why, yes, you must do them all. So yeah, we learned the hard way. But they're
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
good little sets. I mean, I have good results with it at night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just got some
Original batteries. Oh, it's really
original batteries, tubes here. Zenith tubes in the metal cans they had.
Yeah.
What's that little box under the one that says meter lamps? If you go
Oh, that's
Mazda
a,
lamps. Okay. What's that little box underneath?
that was a lightning arrestor for an outdoor
see.
antenna. It's a little porcelain thing.
Very good. I thought it looked like a toy submarine, but of course,
Yeah.
I think it
No.
may be time for another visit to the optimal.
This is a
Okay.
huge Filco. It's half tombstone, half cathedral. It's 1938,
Oh yeah.
and it's a huge thing. 38-5. It was last year Filco used the shadow meter. 39 they went to push buttons.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, those are very cool one lit. I like those.
Mm-hmm. Here's a 1936 Filco, model 645. That's a huge tombstone cabinet on that. It
Yeah,
has the shadow meter.
Those are heavy sets too. Back
Oh, yeah.
doors.
Very heavy. This is part of an old tube tester from the 20s. It's
Oh,
not
I
the
love it.
complete unit, but it's got a bunch of different gauges on it. And I thought it just looked cool sticking some old globe tubes in it. Looks like something.
Oh, that's awesome.
Frankenstein's laboratory.
Oh yeah, that's fun. That's great.
This is a 1937 RCA model 86 T1 that I turned into an 87 T1 by adding the eye tube. That was the only difference between the two. I found the original
Nicely
bezel and
done. I love that lettering. That's the numerals and the
Oh,
lettering.
yeah.
some
That's
nice font on there.
very, very deco.
Absolutely.
And to complement, this is a 37 Delco, same year. It also has a tuning eye and it's got a pretty nice dial.
Yeah, absolutely. It's amazing how car instruments of that era and radio dials all kind of match in their style in so many ways.
Right. This is a 39 Filco slant front. It's got the wine colored push buttons.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
terrific.
those look neat.
That's
Nice.
terrific.
That's
very-
another one of those, almost like a console chassis and a tabletop radio.
Exactly. Same with this one, the 38 concentric tuning dial, which they only used 1 year. You took a
Yeah,
little
that's
knob
a
on the
neat little
side,
gadget. Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
fun.
so there was no actual tuning knob. You just took the knob and spun it around the circumference of the dial. And that's how you tune the
I see
station.
the suicide knob on steering wheels back in the day.
Exactly. That's exactly how it operates. And this is a kind of a unique Silvertone. This is a 37 with an Ingram cabinet. And they had a telephone dial on them for presets. Stick your
That's
finger in the
cool.
hole, it's like dialing a phone, and
Silvertone had a lot of neat stuff.
I
There
know.
was, I think, I don't know if it was the Stein book. Somebody had put out a book on Silvertone, and it's essentially catalog pages, basically. But
right.
to read the descriptions, and some of the descriptions, were very, you know, to the average radio consumer, it was a lot to digest. They discussed, various technical features of it. Usually, you would just say, "Hey, this is a great radio. It has 10 tubes. It sounds super." But they would get into some pretty good detail describing them. It was kind of neat to read through those.
Oh, that's a great book. That Stein had a bunch of great books out.
Yeah.
That Silvertone one is.
And they used a lot of
I
great
recommend.
manufacturers too. I mean, not only Colonial, but they used Gardner and
Right.
did some good stuff.
And I got lucky on this one. The 10-9 was only had just a mild warp to it. A lot of these things are just badly cracked. And
The other complaint I would have about all your radios, Greg, is the dials are all there's no paint loss. They're all crystal. So what is going on out there? Because this is not what I'm experiencing in my own.
This is
No.
once
I'm only kidding you.
these
They
are
look
museum
great. I mean,
quality
that's
pieces. that's for
crystal.
sure.
I know they are very nice.
I'll back up and I'll show. This is kind of a little display I have here too. This is
Oh, wow.
Ed Wynn. That was I think it was from a Subway in 1934. He was
That's
on
fun.
radio for Texaco
Eddie
at the time.
Tuchin and his charming music.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, and of
awesome.
course, everybody has a Chesterfield.
Everybody has to have Chesterfield with Arthur Godfrey and Bing and Perry Como.
That is awesome.
These are a couple of board games. We've got Ed Wynn and Eddie Cantor.
Very nice.
Tell it. Wow, interesting.
This is a Itron tube display.
Beauty.
Well, that's fun. That's fun.
Couple of
I love this. This is
Fibber McGee and Molly
Fibber
glow
McGee and
coats
Molly. Oh, wow. Glow coat.
in 1936.
I remember my mother talking about that, listening to that when she was a kid.
And right below it is a 1939 RCA Model T60. It's another one with the eye tube in the middle of the dial.
Oh,
Yeah, I
gorgeous.
like the contrast with those red stripes. That's sharp.
The
On the Hytron ad, what's on the outside of it?
A couple of tube boxes, just empty tube
No,
boxes.
the circular in the ad itself. What's the
Oh, it says
circ-
uniform quality up on top, and it just is supposed
right?
to
And
represent
what's
a
all the
call.
graphing or whatever?
Oh, it's just squiggle lines, like it's supposed to represent.
Radio waves.
Oh, okay, I
Radio
see it
waves,
now.
Electricity,
yeah.
yeah.
All right, okay, thank you.
Sure. Right below it is a 37 Grunau teledial. It's another one that used
I love that dial face. Awesome.
yeah, that was one where the dial itself rotated and the needle in the front stayed still.
Oh, right. Oh,
It's
how
a
cool.
cylindrical dial.
Terrific. Absolutely terrific.
And this is a 37 Traveler. That has a very pretty dial. It's lit up.
Yeah, look
As
at
you
that.
can see, I'm partial to
That's
them with eye
impressive.
tubes.
That's gorgeous.
There's a 46 Zenith with the reverse chevron dial.
Yeah, I like that's attractive. I've always liked that style.
Yeah, that's a
Bob did a nice restoration on one with the AM FM. What, late
this is
40s?
when I restored when we were on lockdown last year during the pandemic.
What was the number on that Traveler?
That is a model 701.
Okay, thanks.
Sure.
Love it.
Yeah, it's got a couple of Zeniths. This is a familiar Zenith, a 6-tuber from 1939. The only downside to these, there were two different models. One used a ballast tube and one used a transformer. And if you can find these, you're better off to find the one with the transformer because the ballast tubes are notoriously troublesome on these.
And can be hard to find.
And hard to find, yes. This is a little 5-tube 41 Zenith.
Very nice. Simple
I have a
bunch.
little set like that, has a handle on the top of it, so you can
Oh, does it? Yeah, this one.
cart it around from room to room. They made a variety of that.
Right. I
style.
think this was sort of the equivalent of the Filco Transitone. They made
Yeah.
a ton of these too in different. I think the toaster was the same cabinet, same chassis, just different cabinet. Here's another airline. This is a 36.
I love that blue.
Has a colorful
Ah.
dial.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
What,
This is
Greg,
really
what's
cool.
the small indicator in the circle
Well, that's
embedded
kind
in,
of like your second hand on the,
like a
it
fine
spins
tuner?
much faster, fine tuning, yeah.
Ah, clever.
And then the
See, like
bands
in
are
a glare-
indicated by the colors lit on the dial.
Right, whichever one of those
Perfect.
is lit up, that's what band you're in.
I'll have you know that you guys know that when I first created our Facebook site, I didn't have initially a good cover photo, so I used an airline dial just about somewhere around like that as our cover page.
Yes, I thought it looked familiar.
Yeah, and I think I took it from one of, it was one of our shows. And I said, oh, yes, that's right. That's what I forgot I did that. So it has good memories.
Good.
Was the iTube original or added?
No, that's the
You know?
original. They came like that.
Okay.
It's just kind of an odd place for it, but that's where they stuck it.
Gosh, of course.
This is a 38 General Electric. Just kind of a big
Interesting.
table model.
The dial place is unusual.
Yeah, it's actually got separate needles for the different bands. Let's see if I can-
Yeah.
There you go.
They feature
Yeah,
that in
I-
a few radios. That's kind of a cool look.
Yeah,
It is.
Yeah, I
Luber,
think
the
I've had
Luber
that in
one.
a chair side.
Even the logo lights up above it where it says General Electric.
Oh, is that right?
Ooh.
I had a
Oh.
multi-band console with that.
Yeah, they use them in consoles. And so there's an iTube. This is a 42 Zenith, a 7-tuber. It has a history by it. This was purchased new by my other set of great-grandparents. That one and the Coronado console were the two first radios that I received. So this one
Wow.
also
They had nice
been in the
taste.
family.
You were fortunate. You had good
Yeah.
taste in sets.
Yeah.
And what's pretty cool about it, the station call letter tabs are still in the fountain pen written by my great-grandfather.
Well, that is
Oh,
cool.
that's
And he
awesome.
passed away in 1953. I never met him, but I got his writing on the radio here.
Very nice.
Yeah, that's another keeper.
Yeah. This is a 38 Fairbanks Morris. They had a very pretty dial on them as well.
Oh, that's
They were in the refrigerator business, if I'm not mistaken, as well. Didn't they make
Yeah,
appliances?
they're based in Wisconsin here too, down in I think around
Didn't
Racine.
they make great big commercial engines also?
yeah.
They
Diesel.
did, yeah, still do. Yeah,
Yeah.
In fact,
still do.
it's kind of interesting. One of the my dad's cousin who retired, but he's in his mid 80s. He was the engineer. He was like Mr. Scott of the Lake Champlain ferry system. And about 10 or 15 years ago, I was visiting him, and he took me down to the engine room when we were crossing. We were just doing a nice fall crossing of the Lake Champlain, and took me down with their oldest ferries in the fleet, and it was a big 6-cylinder Fairbanks Morse diesel from 1929, still doing its
Beautiful.
job.
Oh,
It was awesome.
This Fairbanks Morse. And moving over here, this is a Filco Model 1401. Last year they had the slide-in record player.
Ooh.
He kind of went with the boomerang design.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, I think they call this a boomerang. There's a boomerang and a flying wedge. I think this was the boomerang.
Oh, that's
You know, just while I'm complaining, Greg, just another complaint I have is there's no dust on any of these radios.
Well, I must confess, I took a dust rag to him last night. They were down
All
in the
right.
basement.
I'm only kidding you. I'm only kidding you. I mean, it really looks like you walked into a museum. You know, it's kind of neat.
Well, thank you.
You're fortunate
Yeah.
to have such a nice space to display them as well. We should all be so
Oh,
lucky.
This is kind of a unique set. This is a 41 Filco model 41623. What's unique about it is a single play has the beam of light tone arm
Ah,
in the table model.
how
They only
cool.
made 2 table models with the beam of light, and this is one of them.
I love those picture records.
It's
Yeah.
a Vogue picture record, yeah.
Wow, that's great. That's just terrific.
And then we'll flip back here and I'll show you the Zenith row here. What you saw behind me. 2 different Zenith consoles.
They're all standing at attention, Greg.
Yeah, this is a 1948 Tuba.
I've only had it 22 years. I probably ought to get it working.
Yeah, this is a common set. They sold a lot of these. Well, it's kind of a unique cabinet design. It looks like two different cabinets mated together because it's wider on the bottom than on the top.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So cool.
Yeah, those little levers are always, I see sets without them. I see them with them broken. I see them with them half missing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
for
you're
some
all
reason,
on-
Zenith, they like to skimp on knobs and just have everything in one place because you've got the off on and then that goes through the tuning knob and the band switch is right below it.
Yeah. Meanwhile, you'd have another set, to make it look, more advanced. You'd have 5 knobs, and they all have,
Exactly.
the most basic of functions.
Right, right.
Every so
Yeah.
often you see that set where someone's gone and cut the bottom off of the set.
Oh,
And
yeah.
You see those every so often floating around.
Mm.
hmm
In my nightmares, I see them.
Another common one.
Ah.
9-tube shutter dial Zenith from 1938.
That's some pretty funky grill cloth. I like that sort of block look.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the original.
That's gorgeous. Love it.
This is a 8-tube 1938 Zenith. It has they called it target tuning before they started using the I-tube. They had a little bullseye up on top. That's gonna get the
Yeah,
glare to
I
go
can see
away.
it.
So it just like would
Cool.
click on, would turn on the moment you had the maximum.
Right, there's a little dot that would show up and it would move up and down. And when it was right in the center, you had the station tuned in perfectly.
Cool.
I like
This
it.
is another one, the original finish with the
How
pin.
did it move up and down? Was it mechanical or was it something?
Well, it had a vein in it,
Oh,
just
like
like
the
the old
shadow,
shadow
okay.
meters in the Filco.
All right. Boy,
Yeah, it just instead of going side to
all right.
side, it went up
Boy,
and down.
that's the other extreme of Zenith knobbing, isn't it? Look at that. 1, 2, 3,
There's
4,
5 knobs, yeah.
5.
And the thing about these wooden knobs, you can pay $100 for a set of knobs very easily for one of these.
Like
Oh,
that.
look at the little dials off of each knob. Wow.
Yeah, there's little indicators. There's one. Whoop, where'd I go here? Band switch here.
Nice.
Tone over here. And here. Here we go. There's the other one.
For music or voice.
And sitting on
Wow.
top, it's probably sacrilegious, but I've got a Filco M15 record player. This was the very first 33 1/3 RPM record player.
Interesting.
Columbia released this in June of 1948 and Filco at the same time. It has an RCA cable on the back so you can plug it in. This Zenith happened to have an RCA jack in it, so I could just plug this right into it.
Beauty.
Play your 10-inch records through the radio.
Very cool.
It had the original.
That's in
miniature with it.
beautiful shape. Not a crack, not a line.
Now for being all Bakelite cabinet, yeah,
Yeah.
survived very well. And these two are a couple of 6-tube Zeniths. The one on the right is a 1936 and the one on the left is a 37. They're the exact same radio, just 1 year apart. So the bottom end of the consoles, they're small little compact consoles, but they still have nice dials on them. The wood knobs. Of course,
Yeah. No, it's beautiful.
they show up black and white when you turn them on. They're multicolored dials.
Yes.
That's pretty much the same dial as the 38 with the shadow, the target tuning eye, and this one just doesn't have the target tuning.
Mm.
Grill cloth as well.
Beautiful cloth.
And that pretty much takes me through the collection. I can show you one other thing as we spin around here. I'll take you in the back and show you some of the radios that I've got, as Paul mentioned previously, on Radio Attic.
So this is the showroom floor then.
This is
In
the
other
showroom
words.
floor here, the things I've got for sale, yeah.
I see.
And I just started selling on there in August, and it's been a pretty profitable endeavor. I'd always been curious about.
Well, I
doing
mean,
that. I don't like
there's
eBay for selling.
for somebody who's not interested in learning repair or just wants to have a functioning Nice set, clean, well done, electrically, safe to play. I mean, you're a go-to guy, I would
Sure.
think.
And
There's
I've
that
got-
Emerson with that same dial as the little 414. They use that in a lot of sets. I like
Oh,
like
yeah.
that.
Pretty,
Very cool.
Yeah.
yeah,
This little clarion, they called it. Cute little radio. It's only about, could probably fit in the palm of your hand.
oh, how,
Has a little slanted dial, so that's cool.
Lighted dial, yeah.
wow, that's terrific.
Atwater Kent. Model 944, and this is another Silvertone with the tuning dial, telephone dial. Similar to the other one I've got. This is a little Fada, 1838.
Oh, wow.
And this is a little American Bosch cigar box.
Nice.
And this is a General Electric radio phonograph, 1939.
Nice.
GE did that. GE did that thumb wheel tuning for
They
on
did,
certain
yeah.
sets too.
And then I've got some bunch of projects lined up here to do.
Oh
too.
yes.
Let's see. Junk over here.
Coming attract.
So
They say, oh, coming to a theater near
piled
you.
up, yeah. Okay. Exactly, yeah. All right.
All right.
Wow, that was terrific.
Well, thank you, Greg. Greg, let's just a quick question. So, it sounds as if you've been, especially with the connections to some of those radios in your family. So this is something you've been at since you were a kid, huh? When did you first? 10,
I think I
12,
got
15?
well, let's see, 1980, I would have been 8 years old. That'll date me a little bit. So that was the year I got my first radio. And I was
All
always
right.
fascinated by that Coronado. I can remember going up to that thing when I wasn't even as tall of it. I have to reach over my head to touch the knobs, and then great grandma would come over and whack my hand. And do that.
Yeah, whenever you see a kid, sometimes you see those old time radio ads and you see like a little kid at the dial. You have to think about, here's a kid who's maybe 3 or 4 feet tall, and they're looking at this thing that's maybe a little bigger than them,
Yeah.
and that big dial, and and his
It made
is
an
my
impression
favorite
on
show,
Yeah.
his the Green Hornet. I mean, well, that just had to be pretty awesome,
Mhm.
Thank you so much for taking us through and letting us look over your stuff.
Oh, yeah,
My pleasure.
tremendous.
Thank you,
Very
Greg.
nice collection. Nice
Lots
work.
of eye candy.
Thank
Lots
you.
of eye.
And not to mention, well, because we're just going to beat the dead horse. You didn't give us an up close of the Hams on Tap beer sign, Greg.
Oh, you want to see that too? All right, we can do that.
We want it all.
Sure, okay. Hang on a second.
Yeah.
Put this back around again.
There are people who'd spend more for that
Here's a better one over
Hams
here.
on that ham sign than they would for a Stromberg Carlson.
This is one with the rippling water here.
Oh yes.
Oh,
I recently saw a very cool Sprite sign that somebody had on the Antique Radio Forum with
Well,
that
this is an
sort
old
of.
stereo from 1978.
what kind is that?
It's a sound design, I think.
Sound
it's called.
No,
design.
sound design, sure.
I
Yeah,
remember
forgot
that.
about that.
With
Sure, I
8
remember seeing those. I have to admit, I had
8 tracks. Oh yes.
my first compact like that was a Panasonic. I can't remember the model number, but it had the cassette with the soft touch buttons. I regret getting rid of that. I wish I
Okay.
still had that.
Yeah, these had slide dials for the controls here. So the knobs,
yeah.
you slid the dial back and forth.
And that's fun because I remember walking into any of those department stores and seeing things like this, and now, well, not so anymore.
This old
Ah.
cuckoo clock was brought back from Germany by my mother's uncle after World War II.
Oh, that's gorgeous. Another keeper.
Yeah, here's the other hand sign. This one, you only
Oh
saw the front
yes.
of it.
Look
Oh,
at
that's fun.
It's got the clock on this side. There's another
What,
picture
now, what,
on the other side.
what year
Sky
would you?
Blue Waters.
Oh, those are
there
from
we
the
go.
60s. I'm going to say about 64, 65.
That's
Yeah, I was going to
cool.
say, it looked like 60s the moment I saw the picture on the
Water skiers.
forest skiers. Yeah.
There's another
Love it.
picture on the back side. But,
Is that light up?
so, yeah. Oh, yeah, they light up. I just don't have them plugged in right now.
Sure.
The cord is kind of up on top of it, I guess.
Sure. How
So your
fun.
next assignment, Greg, is we want you to plug in every radio so we can see, turn out the lights. We want to see all
And
the
then
dials
I'll
lit.
go outside and I'll check out the meter on the back of the house. And see that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
and then
like,
when you take the neighborhood down,
Yeah. Like Chevy
we'll say we
Chase
know
and-
we didn't encourage them.
we
you
want to see
again.
tuning eyes, everything.
Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
That was
Beauty.
great.
Well, thank you.
All
I'm
right.
really glad that you guys let me be a part of your group like this. I mean, being an outsider from way over in Wisconsin, but it's like I said to John in an email, we're all kind of in the same band of brothers, so to speak. Any of us who collect and restore antique radios, we're kind of among friends wherever we go.
Yes, we are. That's the nice thing about the Zooms, especially, you know, not only just, you know, going long distance, you know, David and Lloyd and
Yeah.
yourself, but I mean, it
Rob.
helps us, you know, as a New England is a pretty good size piece of geography. So it helps us
Yeah.
all. So that's a good deal.
Yeah.
Anybody have any other questions for Greg on his collection or collecting or his selling on the Radio Attic? How long have you been at it actively selling on the
Well, my
attic?
page went live August 1st, so it's just been a month and a half, and
And how many radios have you sold?
I think about 17.
All
Wow.
right. That's
That
not
time.
bad. Excellent.
They're getting to know me. We have an Office Max store in town that has a FedEx depot and we can ship stuff from. And I'm on a first
Here he
name basis
is.
with all those people.
Yes, yes. You're the best customer. Get the royal treatment. That's
Yeah.
right.
Thank
All
you very
right.
much.
Well, thank you.
Anybody have anything else they'd like to share, show and tell? What's going on?
Sure.
Absolutely. Okay.
I would.
All right.
Hello,
Go ahead, Larry.
can you hear me?
Oh, whoop. Yeah. Hi, Brad.
Okay, over my shoulder here is, this is an RCA model 121 Cathedral,
Oh, yeah.
Ah,
and it's been in the family since sometime before World War II.
Wow.
wow.
I was about 5 or 6 years old, which would put me in 1948-ish or thereabouts. And I had an extended session of picking up every possible cold virus, and I was missing tons of school because of that. But my salvation was listening to the radio. And at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, the kids program would come on with the Phone Ranger and a bunch of other neat programs. But the radio was working the last time I fired it up, which was about 10 years ago, but I can see that the dust has accumulated in it and it probably needs some more attention.
It's a nice looking set.
Yes.
Original finish, no doubt, correct?
It's in pretty good shape.
It is.
There's nothing
Nice.
like original family radio, no matter the
Yeah.
condition.
Right.
I actually have one of those too. That's in the other half of my collection throughout the house that we'll see in a future Zoom, I think, or do part 2, I guess.
Yeah, we'll have to either do the video part or however you want to do it, Greg. We'll figure out a slot in the future.
I want to grab a book too right away that I think you might be interested in.
Okay.
While he's doing that, when we were talking about the Zenith knobs down there, I recently had some knobs made by this guy, Ben Erickson at Big River Hardware. I don't know whether you guys have ever seen any of the ads, but he's doing Zenith knobs, you know, with the Zenith logo, all hand turned in walnut, with
Really?
the brass inserts and everything. And he just did a set for me for a Strat, and I was really impressed. He's done a pretty good job. So I just thought I'd make sure I'd let you guys know about it as a possible resource.
Yeah, maybe you want to post that if he has a link to his website, George, in the IO group. That might be some good information.
Sure.
I don't have
The,
the earlier
just a-
version, but there was a book here by David and Betty Johnson that had that exact same RCA model 121 on the cover of it. This is a later printing of it.
Yes, yes, I have that book. That
Yeah.
was a good book. I got it for short money, and it's interesting. It's well done for the novice or just somebody who's looking to reinforce their
I thought I had it
existing
downstairs
knowledge.
here, but it's upstairs.
That's a nice one. Any other comments, questions, reactions?
But Larry had something.
Yeah, I do.
Yes, Larry.
Okay, let me unmute permanently or semi-permanently. All right. You might have seen my post a few days ago on groups.io, and I apologize for the lighting in here, but I was looking for one of these. It's called a VT50, and it's a British tube. It's a little battery triode, very similar in specs to a Type 30 on this side of the pond. And the reason I posted for one is because last Friday, I apologize for the lighting, but I was gifted with this little set. And what this is, it's a 2-tube regenerative set using a pair of these things. And I've only got one of the two. It's a regenerative detector followed by a single stage of audio. And you probably can't read it because of the light, but it says the Reinhardt's 2. And the Reinhardt's tuner back in the 20s, Reinhardt's was an American ham, and he came up with a very efficient for the day tuner. And back then the tuner, what they called a tuner was, the circuit for the detector minus the tube, I guess. So anyway, for some reason they named this little set after him, but this is a much newer set, as you can tell from the vernier. It's probably 60, and also the variable capacitor here. Don't know if you can see it, but it looks like a 60s or 70s vintage variable capacitor, and also the vernier was from about that time frame. So here's the back of the set. It's got these pancake coils here. I've got three plug-in pancake coils, and I'm looking forward to firing it up. The only thing that's preventing me is the tube, which really isn't preventing me. I'll get into that later, but time. Because I can provide the 2 volts for the filament from a 3 volt, 3 volts worth of dry cells minus the rheostat. And, I've got the 90 volts for the plate supply. That's not a problem. I've got the aerial and ground, and the only other thing keeping me away is this tube. But the thing about these tubes is the pins are like banana plugs. They're not straight pins. They're kind of split like a banana plug, flared, I should say. And so the sockets, which are built right into the backlight chassis here, I can probably put a banana plug in the filament pin that's grounded, and also the grid pin, and hook it up to an audio amplifier and just bypass this audio stage into an amp to test it out, even without having that tube. So looking forward to doing that and seeing how this thing works. I've got a lot of regens here, but I thought this little one was kind of cute. And I'm not really in the accumulation mode, but the guy comes to the house and hands it to me. And, it's fairly small. It won't eat much. I might as well keep it, right?
It would be rude not to take it.
That's what I figured. Yeah, that's all I wanted to show you guys. One of my rare new acquisitions.
Larry, how are you doing on the Teletype demonstration? Tell us a little bit about that and what to expect.
Okay. Well, I think I'm ready to go. Okay. All right. Am I back? Okay. I think I'm about ready to go, Tom. I've got it all working. My ribbon's a little weak. I have another ribbon. I hope it's good. It's still in its plastic, but it's probably 50 years old. I don't know where I could get a teletype ribbon on short notice, but I probably ought to put that ribbon in tomorrow and see how it looks. If not, I better find one online pretty quick. But yeah, I'm all ready to go. The only thing that bothers me a little bit is what the COVID cases are doing in New Hampshire at the moment. And I may arrange to set up outside rather than inside. for that reason. I'm not sure I want to be confined inside the hall all day long. So that's about my only concern, standing in my way right now.
Sounds
Larry,
good.
I think you can get the ribbons at Radio Shack.
You can re-ink those ribbons in a pinch. I think Staples also has ribbons, so both of those options for you. Looking forward to it. Maybe you could do a little talk after the meet, or are you planning on sort of talking during the demonstration?
Well, what I was hoping to do is kind of have the demonstration continuous and have a little laptop computer set up so people can stop and start the print on their own. I was going to, I'd be around to explain everything, not 100% of the time, but part of the time anyways, or most of the time. And I was going to write up a little page in front of each major component explaining what it did and kind of how it worked.
That sounds good. Do you want me to bring a 100-foot extension cord in case you want to be outside?
Sure, I have a couple. That would help. I've got some extension cords, but outdoor extension cords, but not that long. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to Kathy at the Brookline Event Center and see if I can set up like right outside of the door, maybe on the other side of the door from the free table.
Great. It's going to be a great demonstration. I have another friend in Albany who's going to set up a teletype machine at a hamfest there with me. I think it's time we bring people backwards into the great age of teletype.
That'd be fun. Sorry, go ahead, Larry.
Go ahead, John. I'm sorry.
No, it's
No,
quite a
you
minute.
first.
Okay, I was just going to say, no, I don't know if anyone has got a chance to see the California Historical Radio Society newsletter I send every so often. They managed to get a very nice, pristine looking teletype. I don't know if anyone saw the pictures. It's mostly pictures, but it's fun to look at because the thing looked like it rolled out of the factory almost, and they restored it and looks like it's a working model. So have a look at the photos because I think they keep circulating the same photos. So I only send them when there's something new and contents. It's to avoid cluttering people's mailboxes. But probably the next one I send will probably have it.
Great.
All I was going to add is that, yeah, I think especially for people who haven't really been exposed to teletype up close and personal, it'll be interesting for them. For people who are totally familiar with it, they might get a chuckle out of seeing it, but probably nothing new.
That'll be fun. That sounds great.
I just remember mine in the late 60s up in my bedroom, rattling away a Model 19, and my parents wondering what was going on.
Yeah.
I used to have a Model 19.
Rattle.
Yeah, a guy, I was going to have a guy come over who used to work on these 40 plus years ago in the military, these Model 28s, and just help me clean it up and lubricate it a little bit. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get him over here, but it's running fine. I just feel guilty for not doing anything for it for the 35, 40 years I've owned it.
Well, you've been better to yours than I was to mine. I finally decided it had to go.
Yeah, well, I gave away a couple of them last year. So I had 4, now I'm down to 2.
Wow.
Anyway, that's about all I've got.
How about anybody else? We else have anything going on they want to share?
I've got a little thing to share. I have a question about the
Whoop. We got you there, George. Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, I have something I could share. Also,
Sure.
I had a question about the meet. I was thinking of coming in and setting up outside. Is there a quota on how many tables outside sell, or, I mean, I couldn't figure that out, or do I just go ahead and get myself a space and will somehow get me fit in there somewhere?
You just go ahead and get as many spaces as you want. As far as I know, we've never sold out of outdoor spaces.
Okay, good. So I'm gonna sell out of the back of my thing. No one's heard the weather forecast yet, out that far, have we?
I have not, but let me check my phone while we're talking and I'll see what it says. Not that it's, you can only take it with a grain of salt, but, let's take a look.
Oh, your favorite deity.
It's always beautiful for
Yeah.
Brookline.
Yeah, it is true. Usually fall historically is, the odds are supposed to be in our favor. So, with the 10 days. So, the 10 day says Saturday. Now this is in Massachusetts, but 75 degrees, sunny, with a low of 59. Sounds like perfect
take it.
Brookline weather to me.
Yeah, I could take that.
That'd be
Okay, and if
awesome.
it's okay, then I'll share my screen. I'll just do a quick
Yeah.
thing for you.
Absolutely.
It disabled my screen
Oh,
sharing.
I apologize. Hold on, George. I forgot to share screen for you. There you go. Good to go.
And let's go here. And we're gonna go here. Yeah. Okay, can you see the screen?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, this was an interesting thing that came up to me before. I like British and French radios, foreign sets, and the round echoes were kind of an iconic radio. And so this is an 8065. This is an original one. I've got a replacement dial in it, but it was designed by Wells Coates, and it was made like about 1934. Now I noticed I said here in the doppelganger. This is a gentleman here, Jerry Wells. In England, he was really well known as a collector. He had over 2,000 radios in his home, and it was a small home. He was really big in the television, the early, I think it was the 405 scans. They call it 405 Alive, so their big thing. And he basically turned his little place into a museum. And right up until the end, he passed away just a few years ago. He was still repairing radios for people, and he was running that museum. One of the things he did was, I guess he got interviewed by the BBC, and someone was commenting about those Echo radios, saying that, they had to be probably bakelite because they couldn't have done it back when they were making wood radios. And so I guess he took it as a challenge. And here's an example of one that this is the original one I have, and then this is one that I have that Jerry Wells made. And it's MDF front end that he turned and routed out, and then it's got a plywood shell around the outside, and he's painted it, and it looks just like a Catalan.
Wow.
He did a really nice job. The only way you'd really notice it is that he put brights on these knobs.
Sure.
And as the regular one didn't have it. So, but I found this again on the Antique Radio Forum, and I give away one of my secrets. In the people that go griping on auctions and stuff, people were making some comments about this antique dealer down in Florida who, wouldn't take the back off of the radio and wouldn't do this and wouldn't do that, and they're making fun of him. So I checked it out, and I gave the guy a call. Once I found out what it was, I said, yeah, I'll give you what you want for it. So he only made like 70 radios. The first 16 were identical to these, same tubes, same light out, speakers. He did everything. After that, they did all kinds of things, and they ended up actually selling some of them in Harrods. So, and the thing that was interesting, you notice I said it was made by, the original one was by Wells Coates. Well, you notice what he did down here. This is a type R AD65, so it's a reproduction. And then down here it says it's Wells coated. So it was Jerry Wells, and so Wells coded radio instead of Wells coats, and that's his little thing. And the reason that I put this thing together was, this is a poster from 1992 for WBT down in Charlotte, North Carolina. And you notice what it used for radio was this British radio, the AD65. So it's one of my hobbies is collecting these kinds of posters and stuff. And then the colors and the design on this thing were just too much. So
that's terrific.
That's what I had to do.
That is truly beautiful. Very Art Deco.
Anyone interested, do some Googling on Jerry Wells. I'm a member of the British Wireless Club, and you look at the British Vintage Wireless Society website. You'll see all kinds of stuff about him, and anyone's interested. They are a club that's expensive, but boy, their newsletters come out 4 times a year, and they're just absolutely gorgeous, all glossy photos and all kinds of stuff in it. So anyways, I'll let go.
Oh, that was great. Thank you, George. That's terrific. Some interesting story.
Thanks.
Anybody else out there? Any ongoing projects, new acquisitions, stuff in Facebook Live? Anything along those lines?
Somebody's at Kutztown.
Oh, yeah. Actually, that's a good point, Carl. Is because Kutztown is this weekend, right? It's already happening tomorrow.
Yeah, there's someone who keeps popping up, and you can see he's at Kutztown.
Oh,
Adam.
that's John. Oh, yeah. I was wondering where he was. So actually, John, I hope you take lots of photos, because I would like to actually have one of the upcoming meetings in October. If we could do a Kutztown report, would be awesome. Maybe we'll try to invite Bob Bennett again, because if he does the video. We had him on for the May show back in, I guess in June, around about June Zoom meetings. And so any Kutztown report will be great.
Maybe John can give us a live update of what's going on down there.
Maybe
Yeah.
Greetings from Kutztown. Can you hear me?
Yeah, reporter Jon Kummer.
Greetings from Kutztown. I just want to make sure you could hear me. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I'm sitting here at my table at the Kutztown but it's only vendors today. I arrived around 12 noon when they opened, and sold a few radios. I'm glad that you could hear me at least. It's a little buggy here. I could walk around, but most of the tables are covered with tarps right now. Hopefully tomorrow will be very good. Temperature is around 70 degrees and dark, with continuing darkness through the night, and probably sunshine coming around 6:30 a.m. But it was a very nice day. I saw they filled up both of these pavilions we have. I'd walk around to show you what's going on, but I'm not sure if, again, everything's pretty much covered. You can see some radios and stuff here, but I'm not sure how good. I don't know what else to tell you, or I can try walking around and show you some stuff, but that's up to you.
Well, it's
Yeah, I say go for it.
What's that? I have trouble hearing with this computer.
we have Carl saying go for it.
All right, I could walk around. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
If you lose me, let me know.
Okay.
Let's see, I'm gonna try to find some stuff to show you. Remember, it's kind of dark here. Hold on, I'm just trying to find a table that it's not covered. This is bizarre. I've never done this.
I just uncover them. Nobody will mind.
Okay. I'm trying to show you some items here, but it's very difficult to judge things like, let's see what we got here.
There's that water.
I'm trying to figure out how to do this so it makes sense. You can see some speakers and a Tombstone radio there. Can you see that at all?
Yeah, yes, we
There's
can.
that
All right.
water.
See, right now it's not showing up. I have trouble. Here's a table with a bunch of radios. Not sure how well this is coming out. For
No, it's coming
some
out-
reason,
coming out
normally when I
decently.
talk, I would see my image, but I'm not seeing it tonight.
Looks good, John.
But what's that?
It looks good.
Okay,
It's all coming through. Good.
good. I'm gonna keep walking around. You could see, I don't know how much you could see here, but everything is pretty much covered. Oh, here we have one of my favorite places. Let's see if you can see the sign.
Oh, gobs of knobs.
Yeah.
Gobs of knobs.
Costly.
Oh, well, that's I forgot his name.
Mike?
Mike's place.
Mike Costi.
He's here. Let's see, we're still walking around.
Which I got to go reach out to him. I'm looking for a knob.
What's that?
I said it reminds me that I
Oh,
have
wait.
to reach out in context. I need a knob. I miss Scott.
Let's see here. We got some stuff here. This is just a bunch. Sorry, I don't know how well this is coming out. This
No,
is
it's
just
coming out pretty
parts.
well.
Here we have someone who must have a dozen transoceanic radios here. I don't know if you could see any. It's too dark here.
We can see-ish. We can see it's a little dark, but we can see.
All right, here we have someone with a lot of tubes. A ton of tubes. We have some people who are doing some deals here. Let's see what else is coming around. See, everything is covered. That's the problem. Some stuff isn't, like, oh, that's a cabinet. How you doing? Well, wait, we're doing a live Zoom meeting.
Hello.
This is Terry from Long Island, one of the radio collectors. We're doing it, the New England Antique Radio Club
Oh, okay.
Zoom meeting.
Greetings, Terry.
I'm
Terry,
here for the Kutztown radio meeting. It's great. It's good to be here. The weather's perfect.
yeah.
And John's pretty cool too.
Oh. More and we'll. And I don't want to bore everyone. It's just I'm trying to find some images, and that's what I don't know what this is. But there's just
What time tomorrow will the live show be?
You had to be a
we have
reporter and
something
be
over
there for
here.
the entire. There we go.
HRO receiver, an HRO type receiver with some of the plugins and a speaker. Oh, wait, we're invited over here to Terry's radios. Now we have here some very odd things. The Midwest Frankenstein. And we have a, oh, okay, we got a light on this now. And we have another tabletop, another pilot. And we have all kinds of cool stuff. And there's a cool antenna on top of the pilot. We don't have a lot of light here in this pavilion, but thank you, Terry.
You're welcome.
And we have some of the strangest stuff just hanging around. I don't know if you could see that, but anyway, so that's kind of to net control.
That's all right. Well, hey, thank you, John, for that nice sneak preview of things to come.
Yeah, again, I wish it were during the day, but
That's
not
quite
much
all
I
right.
could do. Not much I could do about it. Let me see here. Yeah, that's it. But you know, I'll let you guys get going with this, and thank you for putting up with the
No, that's
quality
great.
of this. Okay.
Well, the next,
That's great. Brings back.
John, could you make a video tomorrow? And then we could show it at the next meeting. Could you make a video on your iPhone? John, we're losing you a little bit, but if you can do it, make a video on your iPhone tomorrow.
yeah, that'd be, or you know, or
Okay,
be awesome, or even still photos.
I'll do that.
He's probably at the very edge of.
Yeah.
There we go.
I'll do that during the day, and I'll try to bring it to the next. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Hello?
that's great. Do
I don't know
that.
if you could-
Do that.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Okay. See you from Kutztown.
John, please tell me
Thank
it's
you.
gonna rain, because that's why I didn't drive down there.
Thank you, John.
Thanks,
That's
John.
Thank you,
Thank you,
John.
John. That was great.
We had no rain today, and it was a pretty nice day. I'll see you guys.
Great. Thank you, John. So anybody else have anything, you know, coming around the corner, coming with Brookline a week away, or stuff you have going on?
I got a quick screen share. I missed a lot of things.
Sure.
Yeah. Hold on a second here. Let's see this one. So did that come up?
It's starting to paint. There we go.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, so I can't resist large speakers. I came across these at the electronics store in Littleton. So these Macintosh line array gizmos.
Wow.
They're gonna little foaming to do on the speakers, but they're right in line behind the KEF 107s that came from another yard sale. So a couple of I got this RCA at a yard sale for $10 or something up in New Hampshire. Looks like it
Nice.
needs some restoring.
Yeah, it's in terrific shape.
It'll be forever before I have a collection like the one we saw tonight. I'll say that. A little advice. This thing a friend of mine saw at an antique store. That's apparently they're asking $125 for it. The Westinghouse, you know, grandfather clock radio. I don't know if that's something worth going for or not. Or if someone's interested in it, I think it's in Lunenburg somewhere. I could send you the address. Just drop me a message. So, and another one that's at a place, the guy was humming and hawing about it today, this wave magnet. There's the back of it. Everybody wants to count tubes. I counted 9, I think. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Maybe there's another one behind the transformer, but that's
Oh, it's nice.
Actually, I think it's a 12 tube. I
Oh,
restored 2 of
yeah,
those.
okay. So, you know, if I could, this cardboard's a little damaged here, but
I don't know if you can read that model number at the top, but it would tell you how many tubes.
It's a 12H670.
yeah. Oh, up here. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Let me see if I have something that looks like Zoom here.
Yeah, just sending.
And then panning. It does look like 12. Yeah, 12H670. Sounds right. There you go. So that's something to talk the guy out of, you think?
A lot of lockable tubes in that one.
I'm sorry?
A
Oh,
lot
lot
of
of-
loctal tubes in that one.
right, with the little bases.
Yeah.
I have a little Loctal tube poster. Hold on a second here. There we go. All right, I mean, that was pretty much it. Oh, somebody dropped off a TAC, 7-inch TAC that apparently runs. I was at a, where's my unshare here?
I can do that for you.
Okay, you do that. Okay, yeah, the Loctal thing reminded me of this. I have turn off.
Have to kill the background there.
Yeah, turn that off.
There we go. Much
There
better.
we go.
I like it.
Oh, yeah.
The Loctal poster I remembered I had on the shelf here.
Nice.
So, there we go. That's the deal. Just check it in. It's been a summer of running.
Glad you.
Not too many sales or whatnot, but occasionally run into things, and I've yet to go to a sale that's selling time.
That's great.
That would be really nice.
I have.
All right.
That's great. Thank you, Hugh. That was good. That was great. I have one little thing I can show you, sort of an in-progress project, which maybe we'll complete after Brookline at some point. I'll do a quick share. Here we go. Can everybody see this? This here is a photo of, I have a Saba Filligan W3 from 1953. It's a small console. I should have shown a picture of it, but yeah, it was actually my neighbor's radio that they were going to push out to the curb for the garbage man to take away, and I rescued it from that. It's a really nice shape. The wife's father bought it brand new in 1953 in Germany, and I guess they took it back from Germany, you know, because they lived a couple of doors down from us. At any rate, it has an EM85 tuning eye, and EM85s are, you know, only made a few years and are very hard to find. And when you do, they're usually pretty expensive. And so Howard Mariotti had made an adapter for that converts it to an EM80. And so I'm supposed to sync up with Howard to get the adapter in the hope this maybe it'll work. And I just wanted to show you this. The chassis not completely out of the console, but there's just enough space to get it out. And this was really not easy at all to take out. I'm surprised how challenging it was, because this mounts upside down, you know, facing out on the dial face. And in the early days, in the early 50s, you know, especially Saba, they were sort of like the Mercedes-Benz of radios in Germany. They were designed to a fault, and almost every tube, maybe except for one, were all latched down with spring clips. So, you know, which was a nice touch, but you can see, you know, as time went on, by the mid to late 50s, they abandoned that because in the name of cost cutting, you had to do something sensible, take away all this extra goodies. But I wanted to show just the engineering alone is very impressive, because, you know, they have a shield here so that you can only see nothing in the behind the tube other than the tube in the window. That has this nice spring clip, but there's not a lot of space, because in this, if I zoom in a little bit, while this flips upside down in the hole was kind of eclipsed by the tube, but the dial cord runs right over it, so there's very little space, and it's not a lot of wire. In fact, I had to take out all the dial lights because they're all tied together, and there's not a lot of extra wire. So if this adapter works, it's going to be tight. But I thought I'd show an in progress view of what I'm trying to deal with. The tube is still in place. I'm just going to unclip this once I get the adapter from Howard and try to get this mated. But I am worried about interference with the cable. So this is all going to be a very interesting to see how successful I am, or whether I have to consider abandoning the idea and having to just consider rewiring so they can accommodate EM80 instead, which is much cheaper. It looks the same, but much cheaper, and also a lot easier to get. So this is just a work in progress, and obviously I have to do more cleaning here because this is the original tube from '53, and so it's long. It's almost invisible. You can't see any light coming out of it. So it's time to see if I can make this work. But I'm hoping that I can still keep the spring clip. We'll see, but depends how much extra, how much give I have in the springs. But there maybe I don't want to. It may reach a point where they just won't be able to tolerate it and have to do it without the clip. But we'll see. But anyway, that was just a little mini share of what I'm been up to, and not a lot of spare time, but it's been something I've been trying to get to and try to see what see if we can make this work. So at any rate,
If you crush the EM80, you'll know that the tension was too tight.
Yeah, yeah, that would be the case. I will be able to feel pretty quickly how much give I really have in there, and I may just abandon it right, the idea right off the bat with putting the clip on. I like to keep things as original as I can, but I don't know. Let's say this: when you look at the chassis, you say, "Wow, great engineering details what they did," but you know that that serviceability was not at the top of the list. So, this one's going to be a struggle, but I'm going to try.
Kind of like Collins.
I'm sorry?
Kind of like Collins.
But at any rate, I don't know if there's anybody else have anything to add. Oh, yeah, go ahead, Brad.
Okay, this is a 1 DP dog feeder 11 cathode ray tube. 9-pin miniature base and a dime-sized screen. And I have a couple of these, and I keep resisting the idea of coming up with a little package that would replace the Magic Eye and allow you not only a tuning indicator but also call letters at the station you were listening to.
Replace batteries. Replace batteries. Replace batteries.
Oh.
Replace batteries.
I hear.
Replace batteries.
Replace batteries. I like it.
Cute. Very cute.
That is cool. Thank you, Brad. That was cool.
You're welcome.
So if it's here, it's 8:35. Do we have any last minute anyone who has any final things to say or share before I sign off? It's only a week away, so we hopefully will be seeing each other, or many of us, on next Saturday, a week from tomorrow. So until then, get yourselves all ready to buy, sell, barter, give away, demonstrate, teach, whatever it is. We're looking forward to seeing you. So,
be there or be square.
Sorry, it kind of can't garble on my side.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Well, it was great seeing everybody. I'm going to end the meeting then, and we'll see you next Saturday.
Thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
night. Bye-bye.
Night.